Okay, picture this. There's a town, and it's so terrified of a monster in the woods that every single year they sacrifice a baby. It's a horrible thought, right? But now, what if I told you the monster was a total lie, and the witch they were so afraid of, she was actually the hero? Well, that's the incredible, captivating world we're diving into today. We're unpacking Kelly Barnhill's award-winning novel, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, a story that's all about the lies we're told and the incredible magic we can find when we're brave enough to go looking for the truth. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we're going to start with this town that's just built on sorrow. Then, we'll meet the witch, who is definitely not what she seems. And of course, we'll get to know the girl who, yep, literally drank moonlight. After that, we'll watch how this one huge lie starts to fall apart, and we'll dig into the big ideas that really hold this story together: magic, memory, and hope. It's going to be a journey. All right, so let's start in this place called the Protectorate. And honestly, it's just as gloomy as it sounds. You have to imagine a town that's living under this constant, heavy, gray cloud of sadness, and they're absolutely convinced that this awful yearly sacrifice, it's the only thing that's keeping them safe. And this right here, this is the chilling phrase you hear them repeat over and over again on the day of sacrifice. Every single year, the town's council of elders, they pick a family and force them to give up their youngest baby. They just leave the child in the forest, all as an offering to this fearsome witch they believe is lurking out there. Okay, and this slide, this really gets to the core of it all. It's the central lie, right? On one side, you've got the belief, this terrifying witch who demands a baby every year. But then you look at the reality. It's just a kind woman finding a baby who's been abandoned. The people think their sadness is what protects them, that their sorrow is a shield. But it's not. It's a cage. And this massive lie, this is the engine that drives the entire story. So if what the town believes is a total lie, then what's actually going on? What's the truth? Well, to figure that out, we have to leave the gloom of the Protectorate behind and head into the woods to meet this so-called witch for ourselves. And what do we find? Well, the witch of the woods is, well, she's anything but a monster. Her name is Zen. She's gentle. She's kind-hearted. And her companions? They're not some scary minions. She lives with a wise, grumpy, centuries-old bog monster named Glurk, and, get this, a perfectly tiny dragon named Furion. I mean, come on. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures how she sees things. She has absolutely no idea why people are just leaving their babies in the forest. She's not demanding them, she's finding them. And every single year, she's just completely heartbroken and baffled, and she makes the choice to rescue them. So what does she do with them? Well, she calls these rescued babies her starlings, or the star children. She gives them a little bit of starlight to keep them safe and healthy on the journey, and then she takes them to the free cities on the other side of the forest and finds them loving families. Think about that for a second. What the town sees as their greatest tragedy is actually Zan's greatest act of kindness, all done in secret. But, after doing this for centuries, this sad, strange routine, one year something changes. Something is different. Zan finds a very special baby, one with a tiny crescent moon birthmark on her forehead. And on this day, Zan makes a mistake that is going to change absolutely everything. You see, on the long journey, Zan normally feeds the babies a little bit of starlight. It's like gentle magic, just enough to keep them healthy. But this time, she's a bit distracted, and she accidentally feeds this baby pure, concentrated moonlight. And moonlight, well, that is a whole other level of magic. The baby becomes magicked, just filled to the absolute brim with this powerful, chaotic, untamed magic. And Zan realizes this almost immediately. This child, who she decides to name Luna, is now way too magically powerful and, well, volatile to give to a normal family. It just wouldn't be safe. So, for the very first time ever, Zan decides she has to keep the baby. She's going to raise Luna as her own granddaughter. But there's a catch. To protect Luna, and frankly everyone else, she has to find a way to lock all that incredible magic away, at least for a while. Now, the spell she uses to seal Luna's magic, it's not a permanent fix. It's more like a magical time lock. Zan knows that the day Luna turns 13, that seal is going to shatter, and all of that powerful moonlight magic is going to come rushing back in. And it doesn't matter if Luna is ready for it or not. So, yeah, the clock is officially ticking. Okay, so while Luna is growing up in the forest, totally clueless about the magic bubbling inside her, back in the Protectorate, things are starting to shift. The big lie is finally starting to show some cracks. And it all starts with one person, a young man named Antane, who just can't shake the memory of the baby he saw being left in the woods. Antane's story is really about his conscience just eating away at him over the years. As a kid, he sees the sacrifice, and it scars him. As he gets older, he refuses to be a part of it, even leaving his training to become an elder. But the real turning point is when he becomes a husband and a father himself. Suddenly, the idea of that sacrifice is just unbearable. And that's when he makes his decision. He's going to go into the woods and kill the witch himself to end this horrible tradition for good. And this is what makes Antane so different from everyone else in the town. He doesn't see any honor in this tradition. He doesn't see any pride. All he sees is sorrow. Endless, pointless sorrow. So when he marches into those woods, it's not just about slaying a monster. No, it's an act of rebellion against the culture of sadness that has suffocated his world his entire life. Which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all, right? What happens when a good man who's setting out to kill a monster finally gets there, only to find out the monster never even existed? This is the moment everything is building towards. Antane's quest is on a collision course with Zan and Luna's quiet life, and it's about to drag the truth kicking and screaming into the light. And here we go. This is the part where all the threads come together. You've got Antane heading into the woods. You've got Luna's 13th birthday getting closer and closer. Her magic is starting to wake up. The lies are finally falling apart, and we are about to find out what real power, true magic, actually looks like in this story. And the truth is, it's a shocker. It turns out the real villain was never Zan. It wasn't a witch in the woods at all. It was one of the town's own elders, a hidden sorceress who was literally feeding on the town's sorrow. She used their sadness to fuel her own magic and keep everyone under her thumb. That sorrow wasn't a defense. It was a weapon, a tool to keep people passive, controllable, and afraid. So how did she do it? Well, her main trick was to make people forget. She wiped their memories of their own history, of their own strength. It's only when Luna's magic starts to stir things up, reawakening old memories, and when people like Andine finally start questioning the story they've been told, that's when the town finally has a chance to heal. It's such a powerful point, isn't it? Knowledge is power. Whoever controls the past controls the future. But in the end, what's the most powerful magic of all? It's love. It's always love. The story makes it so clear that the dark magic, the kind that's fueled by sadness and fear, it's just no match for the magic that's born from love. The kind of love that makes a family out of a kind witch, a grumpy bog monster, a tiny dragon, and a girl who drank the moon. That's the stuff that really protects you. That's the magic that heals. So you see, The Girl Who Drank the Moon is so much more than just a simple fairy tale. It's this beautiful, powerful story about how the narratives we're fed can literally shape our reality. It reminds us that traditions built on fear, they're meant to be challenged. And that hope, well, hope isn't just something you have, it's something you do. It's a fire you have to feed. And that really leaves us with a question, doesn't it? A question for our own lives. What are the stories that we've been told, that we just accept without a second thought? And what incredible magic might we be missing, just waiting for us, if only we dared to find the truth?